now. Okay, hi everyone, we're group 17. This is our health innovation about no more violence. It's sexual assault education for high school students. I'm Sochi.
I am T.
I'm Ishita.
And I'm Sarika.
So this is our agenda. So first, we would like to go over the introduction, which is a topic and summary of our innovation. Then we talk about the background, the history, facts, and concepts. Then we go over the program and service proposal, which is staff, operations, financing, and values. Then lastly, we will conclude with the summary, opinions, observations, and final requests. So our innovation focus on the sexual assault in high school students. So this is considered a public health threat because the victims are underage to give a consent. And this issue has not been addressed in schools. So that is the reason why we created this program called No More Violence. Next, please. So I would like to go over the background, the statistics that we gather from CDC and other scholar articles. So according to the Department of Education, incidents of sexual violence among elementary, middle, and high school students have skyrocketed from 2015 to 2018. Compared to the year range 2015-2016, which is 9,600 cases, 15,000 cases were reported in 2017 and 2018. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention also claim 1 in 3 young women and 1 in 4 young men are victims of sexual violence through physical contact. And sexual violence occurs when the consent is not given by one of the partners who are engaged in sexual activities. Next, please. The sexual harassment occurs commonly in school environments, including physical and verbal activities. Behaviors among middle school students perpetuated sexual assault and violence, which continue to happen in high school settings. Unfortunately, under-college students have not been properly trained despite some available programs. And there is a major lack in self-defense, self-protection, and knowledge preparation for school from school and parents. Students who are the victims tend to hide the events and isolate themselves from the society to avoid embarrassment and judgment. Consequences include sexual transmitted disease, such as like HIV, HPV, the PTSD, such as anxiety, depression, and risky behaviors such as suicide and unprotected sex. So Ishika will go over the previous program and we will go in depth about our innovation.
Thank you, T. So before we start with the innovation, I'm going to talk a little bit about previous programs that have been created to address this issue. So an example of a program is called Speak Up, and this program focuses on primary prevention of sexual assault in middle school students. And this program has shown improvement among 4,000 participants, and they did this the improvement was that 96% of students felt like they were less alone, 93% of students knew who to ask for help, 91% of students created like their own strategies and preventions, and victims were encouraged to speak up to adults and friends about events they experienced for support. But the problem with most of these programs are that this program only applies to middle school students and not high school students. So our innovation, we created No More Violence, which is an online sexual assault education training program, which was created specifically for high school students. Okay, and then No More Violence, again, it's an online sexual assault education training program. And so it will be given to every student each year in high school from grades 9 to 12. Students will do this required training during the first week of school in one of their class periods each year. And the training, again, will be required. And if they do not complete it, they will be excluded from events, signing up for clubs, etc. And then what will the program have? So the program will consist of information about what sexual violence is, how we can prevent it. It'll also have real life example videos where they can hear and see individuals who have experienced sexual assault. And then they can also reach out to people that are in their respective schools for help. And then after completing the training program, students will attend an assembly where psychologists and police officers will come and further educate the students on sexual assault. And then now I'm going to pass it on to Sarika, who's going to be talking about staffing and operations.
Thank you, Ashika. So No More Violence will have a variety of members on our team. First, software engineers and programmers who are responsible for designing the online training program, the layout, and helping with including all the information on sexual assault. We will also have partners with officials from the California Department of Public Health that have already researched sexual violence, so the online training program will have the correct information. Additionally, we will partner with the local police departments around the high schools, as students should have the tools to reach them in cases of sexual assault. And we will also work alongside teachers and staff in the high schools as they're providing the online training program in their classes. Teachers and staff are also encouraged to complete the online training program before the students so that they are able to answer any questions. Next slide, please. No More Violence will utilize an online interactive training program. So students are able to watch videos, follow a questionnaire, and pass an exam. After the exam, psychologists and other professionals will come to schools as a speaker and talk to students. It will be mandatory and given at the beginning of the school year, and additionally towards the end or middle of the school year. So this will help educate students with the knowledge, skills, and abilities to identify risk and protective factors associated with sexual violence. Next slide, please. Now I'll pass it on to Sochi.
Okay, so now I'll be talking about financing, and we estimated about $30,000 per researcher who studies community and students' need, the prevalence and incidence of sexual assault within the community and schools' campuses, about 3 researchers within the time duration of 6 months. $20,000 per data analysis who develop surveys for pre and post lectures and data collection for district reports. So we said 3 analysis, and again for a time duration 6 months. $1,000 for each psychologist and police officer who develop the events and lectures for the online 1-hour event. 2 psychologists, 2 officers, so that goes about $4,000. $50,000 to $70,000 for the software developer for online lectures and webpage and maintain it throughout a 3-year period. We'd say about 3 developers. Roughly $6,000 for designers who design posters and flyers around campus, and we got the idea that SGSU students can intern and get an internship to design like infographics or posters for campus and get some experience through this. The online training program creation takes about from $55,000 to $10,000 per hour for the program. We estimate about $20,000 due to the multitude of information that we included. So we estimated the range from $450,000 to $518,000. For the rest of the funding, we kept for maintaining the program and upgrading the program throughout a 3-year period. No More Violence would allow young kids to have access to complete programs that support the prevention and intervention of sexual violence. Health information should be all-inclusive for this. The federal government wastes millions of dollars every year on misleading and harmful programs that are most effective with abstinence. So values. No More Violence mission is to reduce the incidence of sexual violence, which leads to serious consequences, including physical, mental, and behavioral, as it's mentioned in our background. Stopping sexual violence from the beginning, especially during high school years, will primarily prevent young adults from consequences, the prevention from developing negative health outcomes and behaviors in adulthood.
So I would like to conclude our presentation as high school students need an innovation that can educate them on the sexual assault. So No More Violence is an online training program that will be given to students each year at the beginning of the school year in the classroom setting. This program will help educate the high school students on sexual assault and who to reach out to if they experience sexual assault. And by collaborating with the California Department of Public Health, local police department, and the staff in each high school, students will be given proper information on sexual assault. High school students will finish the training knowing what sexual assault is, how to prevent it, and who they can speak to for physical and emotional support. And our innovative team is proud to give a presentation to the California of Wellness Foundation about our proposal on the sexual assault education for high school students. And thank you so much for listening to our presentation. And next, please. So these are the references. Thank you.
Right, thank you.